Whew. Okay, it's late on I almost said Sunday and it's a Tuesday. Finished it. I I'm so sorry. I'm like trying to keep it together. This is the most giant I this is the worst piece of trash I've ever seen in my life. Episode 4 seemed like it was redeeming it and then it went downhill. Hi Felisa. Oh my god. I didn't finish and like I didn't want to watch the last episode because deep in my spirit, the ancestors were telling me like, Audra, don't do this. Just leave on the high note, which was episode 4. And if you saw my previous video about the idol, I had predictions and it was exactly this. It was so bad. Pfeffy high. Like I can't breathe. It was so bad. Like I'm sweating. I am sweating from how terrible it was. Like flop sweat from the awfulness of this show. I literally can't. Oh, also, the glow brought to you by the new Lethal. Oh my god. Yes, Pfeffy, and that's exactly what she did. The whole thing was a breaking of Tedros. She breaks men. I guess she's a literal ball breaker. This is why whenever I talk about how men cannot write women properly or like create a good, they only know how to make manipulative women two ways. One of them is that they are the cold hearted bitch, right? Who has forsaken everything, given up everything because she has to keep up with the men. And so she has no feelings and she's mean and she ruins everything, right? And then the other one is she uses sex to get what she wants. And like they don't have any nuance. And here's what I mean by nuance. There was a girl on TikTok. If I can find it, I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to like insert it here. Like one day I'll have enough chutzpah, is that the word? To like be able to put clips in while I'm talking. But today is not that day because I literally just finished it. Like I finished it. And then I was like, what the hell is this? But the girl on TikTok was literally saying that if she was going to, be manipulative, get vengeance on somebody, right? What she would do is she would go to beauty school and she would become a nail tech and she would be like the best nail tech. And then she would become her enemy's nail tech and she would ruin that girl's nails. Do you see how, like, none of that was like, I'm going to be naked or do, like, she came up with a plan and she executed it. I just can't, like, and here's the thing. By the time Lily Rose Depp's acting is like good, it's too late. I think that I want to see her in something else, like something that isn't about her TNA. And I'm sorry, like I'm still sweating from how bad it. Like I literally got up and I was like, there's no way that they made this and we're like, so like, no. So how it starts off is basically like Jocelyn is just like, oh, I'm getting like makeup in my eye because I've had it on for a while. I'm also playing a game too, so like, don't look at it. Jocelyn, listen, I love a manipulative bitch. I support women's rights and women's wrongs, but not when written by Sam writes about teens getting it on Levinson. Period. Because let me just, before I get into the total fix, which I'm not going to be on here long because it's like almost 10 o'clock. I have to be to work at 6 a.m. tomorrow because it's after a holiday. And so I'm already unhappy about that. I'm going to scorch my eye and that might get whatever is in it out. But basically, it didn't even need to be an hour or however long it was. Like, this really should have been like a small movie. It should have been a movie called The Idol, and it should have been at max an hour and 25 minutes long. They could have told this story. So basically, Jocelyn kicks Tedros out. She gets her people over to see all the misfits perform that are super duper talented. They all show out. You can see that the one white lady with the big glasses who had, gotten Diane, you all this stuff. But you also see Jocelyn basically explaining to Mike how they met and really showing that exactly what I said. She knew she was in on this shit from the jump. She has been manipulating him from day none. From the moment they met in that club, she was manipulating him. She only likes a man that she can control, that she breaks all the way down and then builds him back up. That's what she does. She just breaks them. Now, going forward, we're going to be watching stuff. Truly, we're going to be watching this stuff in the Patreon and the channel members. We're going to be watching this on not this, but other movies and stuff that I discuss and shows. We're going to try to watch a lot of it together on our Zoom meetings. And the reason for that, the reason I didn't do that with this one is because I was afraid that it might have triggering content and I didn't want to subject anybody to that. So it she basically was in on this from jump, and I said that that was going to be the case. And this is where if you're playing poker, you don't show all your cards to somebody. You don't just like flop them open and then be like, call, and like they know what you have. And where it really flops open is when you see Xander being like, she's a manipulative whatever, and she's doing it to you from my like last video. And she is, you know what I mean? She is wholeheartedly, completely, and totally manipulating him. And she's manipulated everybody around her for all time to get what she wants. Um, the cult is really not owned by Tedros. She is the cult. Jocelyn is the cult. The dramatic music at the end, just like she breaks Tedros all the way down to nothing, has her people destroy him in magazine articles, like all of this stuff. Then when she's having her concert, her tour or whatever, which is now back on because her new music is like awesome. She does a very sexy ass cheeky dance for Eli Roth. I don't know why Eli Roth is in this. I truly don't. It's very like okay, Eli. Anyway, he's in this. I forgot to tell y'all that he's in this. But and if you don't know who Eli Roth is, he is who created Hostel, the first Hostel. He also did the remake of Cabin Fever, which I did not like. Thank you. Yeah, Eli Roth is Hostel guy, which I used to like original Hostel. I'll get into that one day why I don't really like it as much anymore, but we'll talk about it one day. But it is for people who have dogs, and this is very specific, but you know when you're walking your dog and you have to keep your eye on their butthole for way longer than you anticipate because you're going to have to pick that up. And then you're like waiting as it's escaping because you have to, I don't know if your dog does the kicky kickies after they have finished. Mine does. So not only do I have to wait for him to finish his poop, I then have to wait for him to do the kicky kickies so that I don't get dirt kicked in my face while I try to pick up his poop. That's what this show was. It was like, it was waiting for your dog to poop. And it's nothing special. It's the same poop that you always get and you just scoop it up and and that was it. Like it ends basically with Jocelyn bringing Tedros on stage. He is now a whipped dog. She has successfully broken him by letting him think he was in charge, which again, I'm going to say 100% would have been told better through anyone else but Sam Levinson. Not even just a woman, like any other director, I think could have made this story better because you didn't need the intense amount of like nudity and sex to get the point across. Here's how I would have fixed it. The scene where Xander is getting shocked and he screams out about Jocelyn. what I would have done, right? As I would have put that at the beginning. I would have started the show with him getting shocked and screaming, she's manipulative, da, da. And it doesn't show Jocelyn, it doesn't show Tedros, it just shows him being shocked and screaming that out. And then it pops up and it says like the idol, and it's showing Jocelyn trying to like, wander around and do whatever and like tabloid things saying that she's been going through it. And will she be able to pull off this newest tour? Bop, bop, bop. You have the title screen. You know what I'm saying? And then it also pops up 3 weeks earlier, right? Or however long it took her to break this man. So then the rest of this stuff can kind of fall into place and make more sense. And then you figure out who the she is when that scene comes up again, that because you're going to think it's her mother because she ends up talking about how her mother did all this stuff to her. I don't think that was even true, actually. They never really said, well, they don't have to, because here's the thing. Tedros at the final show, I thought it was going to end in blood and gore, and it didn't do that either. Nobody died. I was, and I was actually getting a little bit of anxiety about that because I hate it when they do that, like, oh my God, she's a martyr. Like, I'm glad that didn't happen. But Tedros is like in her dressing room while she's getting ready for her concert, and he picks up the brush and he's like, isn't this the brush your mom used to beat you with? And she's like, yeah. She's like over the shoulder, and he's like, it's brand new. And she goes like this. I shit you not. She just smiles. So that wasn't true, which I suspected wasn't. It wasn't true. She like, that's what this show was. Like, you keep, because occasionally, something, but it's really just poop. It ends up just being poop, and you scoop it up, you put it in a bag, and you're like, all right, well, it's normal, but maybe it's just me. Sometimes it's a little bit disappointing because if I'm going to stare and have to be like ready, but like, yeah. They like, so everything, essentially everything from Jump, with the exception of one thing, which is that her career was flailing. Everything from that point forward was fake. She knew walking into the club that she was going to, do all this shit. She was going to pick her career up the way that she needed to, because as that lady said at the beginning, mental illness is sexy. It's not when you have it. I just want to say it's not when you have it. Okay. Right? I'm like, ooh. It's like, if I wish my whole body was this brown. Like all of that. Anyways. Because I've been living my best chocolate life. But I'm like, listen, I might be getting me some self-tanner to see like an even DB, like, we shall see. But I would have taken out virtually all of the sex scenes. Again, not because I'm a prude, but because they didn't do anything to move the storyline along. The storyline went nowhere because of sex. Like, there wasn't anything that happened because of the sex scenes that made me be like, oh, yeah, the BDSM, what was it for? No reason. Really just there for us to watch The Weeknd embarrass himself trying to sexy talk, like trying to be a dirty talker. And that just made it worse. That made me wish I was a prude. I was just like, no. Like, yeah. Directly in my face, Janet. He literally just kicks dirt. Like, if I didn't bend down. I don't understand why you couldn't have made this story well, because it had all the markings to be done well. But instead, you went the route of, oh, she's manipulative and she uses sex as a weapon. Like, we haven't seen that 800,000 times. Even the fact that she was using her trauma, like using false trauma to trap him, you still could have done that without all the weird sex. if that's what you really wanted to do. Like I literally needed none of the weekend dirty talking. I didn't need any of that at all. I needed this to come like full circle properly and it did, and I said, "Come, I'm so sorry." Arrive. I don't it like yeah, it literally added nothing to the storyline. That was my problem. If you're going to do the make the sad mistake of being like, I'm going to create a story, manipulative woman, and I'm going to use the age old, she uses sex as a weapon, then do it better than what you did here. Because sex appeal can be a good weapon. You could have done that. It didn't add anything. Like, what was her name? Sharon Stone. Her sex appeal was integral to the movie. You know what I mean? It made sense. But this was just like, and I don't care. Lily Rose Depp's coming out being like, "Oh, I was so safe on set." I'm like, "Girl, nobody was like, we're not worried about that part. Like, we're worried about your career now. Like, I'm glad you are safe. I am glad, but I'm worried about your career because this sucked. This was a giant steaming pile of dog shit. I I don't know. I hope you're able to get something better because I think by the end your acting chops were getting there and I could see like, oh, wow. Yeah, it does give like, yeah, because they even throw false accusations of grape in there against Strikes. But remember, I said that the pictures that Xander was taking with that girl Chloe, where it looked they were odd and they looked smelled of setup. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what she ruined his career as well, because of course she did. Xander, by the way, just FYI, Xander knows her. And I do believe, well, we were made to believe that Leah is closest to Jocelyn. It is Xander and has always been. Xander has always been part of her shenanigans, if we want to call them that. Janet, I don't think I am glad. I am disappointed in myself as a person who enjoys trash. Even I could this trash broke my heart. I was like, this is the worst of the worst of the worst. This whole thing from start to finish, it made me gassy. Like, nothing annoys me more than sex scenes just for the sake of sex scenes. That's what annoys me most about HBO shows. They're like, we can show sex, so let's see how much we can shove in there. I'm sorry. Yes, but yes, I think that's the thing is like, I never mind a sex scene, and they don't all have to like. Not every sex scene has to be super purposeful or anything like that. It just for this particular tale, I felt like they weren't really needed. The really about watching a man who thinks that he is the boss of shit and realize that he's never been the boss and she had to break him all the way down. And it literally ends with her just being like, "You're mine forever. Now go stand in the corner and wait for me." And then she stands up and he just like moves back like a whipped dog. And I suspect that that's what she did to Xander in some way, and that's why Xander does what she says. The true cult leader is Jocelyn. She is the leader of the cult. So it was, yeah. I like trash, but this is, when you're outside on a hot summer day and you're just like sitting on a bench or something trying to get some shade and the trash truck rides by you, and at first you're happy because of the breeze. You're like, "Oh, finally a breeze." But then the stench hits you in the face and you're like, "Oh no." That is how I felt about it was so bad, y'all. I This trash truly did break my heart. I just really thought that this was gonna be like at least like guilty trash or like fun trash. But if you have not watched this, I recommend you never burn your eye holes out with this. Like, don't do it. Don't let the curiosity get the kitty, even though satisfaction brought the cat back. Don't do it. Don't don't do it. There's like good trash, like there's action trash, which I'm very excited that Expendables 4 is coming out because honey, I am living. Like I love all of the Expendables movies. Unironically, I love them. Just like I love every single Fast and Furious movie. Okay? I love them. So it's just like it was High Spirited Dragonfly. Oh, not even for her titties. It wasn't I wish I had never seen them if it meant that I could unsee this. If I could unsee this, I would unsee it. It it is unfunny. It is disgusting. I think the fact that they were trying to like base it on real celebrities and use their trauma for this trash heap of a show, terrible. It was unoriginal. It was uninspired. If you're going to create a femme fatale character, I need you to do a better job of it. Even down to like her calling out for her mom, like that was staged as well. But we love tatas, but not at the. Yeah, I would literally if I could unsee every ounce of her nudity, I would because I have never in my life. I was excited because I was like, well, at least episode 4 started to pick up. The acting got really good. Like that was the thing is I think I got blinded by the acting getting much better and the story actually progressing. Episode 4 actually had like a lot of stuff happening in it where the other episodes were just like a lot of going down to towns, a lot of a lot of that "Oh, yeah" noise. It wasn't for me. I'm sorry I did that impersonation, but like, I love horror trash. Listen, we're gonna have to talk about Piranha 3D at some point, and I am so excited for that day because it is July, y'all. So you know what that means? It's Christmas in July, and for me, like Halloween is my Christmas. So we're gonna be doing some horror films. Like that is what I'm gonna end on. The Idol summarized titties, but at what cost? Because I have never been more disappointed in like, and it's just the sweeping music, the the sweeping music. Like I think that's what I'm gonna use to play us out if I don't get in trouble. I'm like, if I don't get in trouble, because y'all, I can't. I literally don't like it. Genuinely hurts my feelings. The music, like the music. This is it. Let me see if I can get it to where it's like she starts like I don't know if y'all can hear this at all. So we'll see. We'll see if I made it work. This music. Let me know if you hear it. And if you don't, I'm sorry. Maybe I could try to insert it at some other point, but that's it. I'm gonna go to bed because I have to be to work at 6 a.m. I'm lying. I'm not gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna end up playing Breakpoint for a little while longer before I get tired and wash my face and take a shower and go to bed. But I love y'all, and I'll see y'all again. Yay, Janet! We're gonna have more fun horror. Yay! I did too, and then there's things, but I will see y'all in the next one. And remember, titties are great, but not at this cost.